In this video, I'm just planting up my larkspur, which I did during the winter sowing method. They grew in the bottles. Then I'm planting out some sweet william and some lobelia, all grown from seed, of course. And then I'm going to plant out some poppies in my taller border, my biggest border. And they were also grown in the winter sowing method, which is inside the bottles. So mainly I just became concerned that they're getting too crowded in the bottles, and also getting too hot now that the temperature is rising. So here they are planted out. So let me show you how I did that. I mean, it's not exactly rocket science, but let me show you anyway. So I just prepared this little patch of bed. In fact, the larkspur are going to go all the way around the back of this bed here. I had anemones in here last year, and I just didn't like the fact that they were so low down to the ground that you just almost couldn't see them from the other side of the garden. So I thought if I had something taller here at the back of this little round border, then they'd catch my eye more from various angles in the garden. Just now adding my own homemade compost, which is just made from kitchen scraps and garden waste, and I'm just going to sort of mix that in. You can see that the soil is pretty good quality. It's pretty hard getting these out of the bottle, and I'll show you when I'm planting out the poppies. You know, it's really a task. I probably need to cut them. I have already planted these ones out here. As you can see, they've taken off. So, they do survive okay, but I probably think next time I'm going to cut them out of these bottles, really, because when it's stuck in that tight, it always feels like you're going to pull off the tops. So yeah, definitely recommend cutting the bottle off them rather than this pulling. Definitely don't do that, pull them by their tops. So, and then you just sort of gently tease them apart here until you get sort of a root there, and then you can just pull them gently. Don't sort of pull the roots, just pull them gently from above, and there you go. There's two separate plants there and a broken one, but that's inevitable. So then I just planted them all up like this, and I do try and put them a little bit further down so that I can protect that sort of where the stem meets the root. It always feels, I don't know whether it's this particular method, maybe this winter sowing method, but they always feel a little bit floppy and tender in that part of the plant. So I like to bury that a little bit further down and sort of put the soil around it just to protect it so that it doesn't flip-flop about. There we go. And then I'm just going to carry on, speed this up and fill up this little space here. Well, no sooner had I finished planting out this little bed of larkspur, this happened. So I had to sort of run down the garden and cover all my plants. And there was thunder and lightning above. So I was thinking, oh my goodness, because I nearly once got hit by lightning before. So I'm always a little bit nervous now when I go out in thunder. And it was all completely unexpected as well. I mean, literally, I filmed this on the left just moments before. And I really think I only went back inside probably to get a coffee or maybe to think about which plants to do next. I can't remember why I went back inside, but basically I never came out again that day. It was just crazy. The weather was just crazy. And that was my gardening efforts aborted for the rest of the day. Anyway, let's get on to my next project, which is planting up a little container. I had problems with this one too. And mainly my problem really is just I'm still not sold on the whole kind of growing things under lights and on warm mats. I don't find that the plants are particularly robust. I'm not really sure why I'm doing that in the UK. When you can just wait a couple of months. I mean, I don't mind starting them on the window ledge. They never seem to be that weak if you start them on the window ledge. But when you start them under lights with mats, I don't know, for me, I've had some problems. So these, the sweet william I'm planting here, I'm planting sweet william and lobelia in this container here. And they both, I didn't harden either of them off properly. Both of them were grown under lights on a mat, and they did really well. They seemed to do really well. And then I didn't harden them off properly, or I didn't give them enough time before I just left them out. And the temperatures dropped down to like 1, which is super cold when you think they've been grown under lights on a warm mat. So they didn't like it, and they got, this leaf damage you can see here. And the Sweet William completely recovered and put on new growth, and they're sort of standing proud. So I knew they were going to be fine. But the lobelia, I think, every time I've planted them out in containers, they have sort of really struggled. In fact, some of them have just died, which is really unusual for lobelia because they're normally really easy to just pop in a container and they'll take off. So I'm thinking they're just too weak, or perhaps I should really wait till the end of April, early May to plant out lobelia. Because when I've bought them in the past as little plugs, I think I've put them out in May. So that's just something to think about. And I'll keep you posted about those because I don't have a great deal of confidence that those lobelia are going to survive. We'll see. So just down to my last little project this week, catching up, I was trying to just clear out my winter sowing because, as I say, they're getting too hot in the bottles and they're getting too overcrowded. So I decided to plant some peonies. These were peony lilacs, and they're just doing really well. So I'm going to plant them next to that container there you can see in the corner is my sweet peas, and they're the ones I just sprinkled on the surface of the soil, and they're just going crazy. So it just goes to show sweet peas are just really easy to grow, and they don't need all this specialist treatment everybody keeps telling you they do. They just don't. They are my own sweet peas I've collected, and I have noticed that they strangely are more robust than the packets I've bought in the seed packets. So there's something to think about. So if you have poor germination or just weak sweet peas, it may well just be the variety rather than you doing anything wrong. So check out my sweet pea video, which I'll link below. Okay, so again, I just broke up the soil. Again, you can see I'm having the problem getting them out. So I could feel these sort of cracking. And that is the thing with poppies, is they have that kind of very watery, like a crisp lettuce stem. So they are really easy to snap. So I was really worried about snapping them. So I did kind of tear at the bottle here and sort of push some of the soil out with my finger from below. It was quite tragic. I don't know why I don't just cut the bottle. I just didn't think of it. Anyhow, I've thought of it now, so I will do that next time. But I managed to get them out without too much damage happening there. Look, see. And because they're very tall, actually. They're tall, almost sunflower tall, these poppies. Not quite as tall as the big sunflowers, but they're pretty tall. So I wanted to put them next to the sweet peas because I thought they'd be a nice sort of size match. And I wanted them to go in a clump because, they're kind of tall and leggy with the big flower at the top. So, I didn't just kind of want one dotted about here and there. I need them in a bit of a clump. And you can see I've got alliums all around here. So, and again, same with the larkspur, I planted them a little bit lower just to support that stem. Look, you can see the white bit of the stem there. It's very floppy where it meets the roots. So I wanted that supported. So I, again, just be gentle teasing out those roots there. They will have a little bit of transplant shock, these poppies, but they do recover. So just try and not worry about it too much. I had some great poppies last year and they recovered absolutely fine after transplanting, and I grew them exactly the same, and they probably had exactly the same rough treatment as I have now. So I'll just show you now how I measure it, the hole, and just dig down a bit further if it's just not quite, it's not quite low enough. It's that stem was flopping above the surface of the soil. I want that down, excuse my hair, into the surface of the soil so that the soil is supporting it more. Even then you can see it needs And you've got to be really careful when you're pushing it down as well, that you don't snap the stem, because I've done that before. So there you are. See, I've got it sort of standing up now so that it knows how to grow. And then I'll top dress with some of my own compost again. And then with the poppies, I'm going to put some stakes around, and also because the cat will just dig these up in a flash, and the dogs also, if I don't protect them, which is why I have all those messy bamboo canes everywhere. I am usually able to take away the canes around May, I would say, when everything starts to thicken out. The animals won't dig them up then, but these poppies, the stakes will have to stay, because obviously they grow so tall, they need that support. And then I'll plant alliums and things around, so that hopefully, and cornflowers and what have you, so not alliums, sorry, ammi, so that will kind of cloak the bamboos anyway, and then you'll just have the poppies sort of rising above, because the poppies will be taller than the ammi and the cornflower. So, and that's the plan anyway. So okay, so there we are. I've just planted those up. That's me transplanting some of my winter sowing plants, and just sort of really catching up on garden jobs. Hope that helped. If it did, don't forget to subscribe, like, click the notification bell, and share with your friends. I'll see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.